Okay, you are joining us here at the Bonfils Stanton Performance Studio, and we have our esteemed guest today, Maestro Cyrus Chestnut. And congratulations on your new CD, Rhythm, Melody, and Harmony. 2 weeks, #1 on the Jazz Week chart. So congratulations for that.
I'm very grateful.
And also, you've been in addition to this is the end of the school year for you at Howard University.
That's right.
You found time to co-produce this beautiful new recording with Isaiah J. Thompson.
Yeah, that's
the Book of Isaiah, Modern Jazz Ministry.
That's a special record. He definitely is a voice. He definitely is a voice, and it was an honor just to be able to just be in the room, and just talk about various different things,
Mm-hmm.
I remember Gary Barth saying, this folks who will call themselves producers. I might get in trouble for this here, but so be it, But who better than the artist himself knows what they're going to do?
I agree.
The voices, the song has been placed in them. And so, with Isaiah, it wasn't my attempt to tell him, no, this is what you need to do. It's just to see. It says, all right. And I said, well, maybe consider it from this place or consider it from this place. And so, if it worked, amen. If it didn't, that's all right too. Amen too, But it was, I was glad to be able to be a part of such a historical document.
It is, and you have quite a bit of history in your own career. This new record, Stacey Dillard on sax, as we were saying earlier, he's so underrated and so incredible.
Yeah.
The great Gerald Cannon on bass and Chris Beck on drums. How did that come together?
Well, it was I've known for presenting trio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so every once in a while, I like to do something a little bit different. So I've been doing residencies. That's what they call them now at Smoke Jazz Club in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And so this time around, I says, I think I would like to do a quartet. And so I thought about different people. And so it first started out with Willie Jones III.
Oh yeah, he's incredible.
Cannon. And Stacey, there was this synergy, especially, with everyone on the record. Chris Beck has also done recordings. We've traveled places too, and so it was familiar ground on all points. Now Willie wasn't able to do the one date, and Stacey came in, and everything just clicked. The synergy was just amazing. So it's like, so I said, yeah, you know what? This needs to be recorded.
Yeah, it's
this
beautiful.
Needs to be recorded. And so it's basically rhythm, melody, and harmony. Where you could say, in the words I think Art Blakey would say, features no one in general. Everybody gets a piece of the pie.
Absolutely.
And it's about just 4 people coming together and just putting some beautiful sound into the atmosphere.
As we were talking about earlier, like so many people in our generation had the chance, when you mentioned Art Blakey, to see Art Blakey. Some people work with him.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Betty Carter. Think of all the people who come just in the piano chair alone.
Oh, for sure.
In her band.
Well, back, I guess I can say back in the day, it's weird. There was 2 schools. It was the Betty Carter School and the Buhana Art Blakey School.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got a chance to go through either one of those schools and you got that stamp, you were all right.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get the chance to get into the Art Blakey School, but my graduate school, I graduated from Berklee College in Boston, but I got my finishing school, the master's and all of that was done in the school of Betty Carter.
Absolutely.
That was, in her words, on-the-job training.
She used to say that, yeah.
On-the-job training, I just saw a post. The great pianist Mark Carey put out a post of on Facebook of an itinerary, and you know, it was like almost like 6 weeks of one nighters, and I remember that because I was a part of that, you know. But once again, it was about getting out there and just working it out, you know. Betty knew exactly what she wanted and how she wanted. And so she was going to, you either gave it to her pleasantly or she was going to rip it out of you.
That's true.
So, you know, but all of the lessons on the bandstand, off the bandstand, you know, certain things about programming, how to program a set, or why are you playing something that I already know, you know. This one thing I think was very significant is I was in California with Betty, Kimball's East, Emeryville.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, spending the time I was listening to a lot of different things. I was listening to that time, like Miles Davis, If I Were a Bell. And I thought for sure I was going to go ahead and execute this here. And I'm going to show everybody how hip I was. Well, after I finished and she came on the set, she looked at me, and if looks could kill, we wouldn't be talking now.
She was tough.
Yeah, but so that whole set, I couldn't play nothing right. She said, play a C chord. I play a C chord. That's wrong. Players, you know, so she stormed off and said, Chestnut, get in here. So I walked back. I said, oh, Lord, what have I done now?
No.
And she said this. It was, I think, changed my life, really. I'm going to give it to you the clean way. I can't say it the way how she said it.
I can only imagine.
So what's that stuff you were playing? I said, as I started to say, If I Were a Bell, she says, I know what you did. I know it better than you. I was there. Why are you playing something I already know? I don't have you here to play something that I already know. Says, you're here to think. Says, understand that you're trying to learn it, but I don't need to hear it that way. This, what you're here to think, not to play something that I already know. And that conversation to this day still rings. I can find myself playing and I hear the voice, that spirit of Betty tapping me on the shoulder, says, you done that before. Come on, get out of this here. So, you know, that and many different searches.
That is priceless. I mean, just like you mentioned, the finishing school, like they mentioned, the University of our Blakey, and, you know, the finishing school. You know, being from Baltimore, Maryland, and having so many great musicians like Gary Bartz, Gary Thomas, Eric Kennedy, the drummer.
Yes.
Do you think, of course, Eubie Blake, is there like a Baltimore sound? Like, you know, I'm from Detroit, so there's definitely a Detroit sound and there's a Philly sound. And
I guess every place would have its own sound. You know, I remember coming to New York and they asked me where I was. Where did I come from? I said Baltimore. So, oh, you one of them Baltimore cats, huh? You know, but they you know, they held it in great respect, of which I had to work hard to prove worthy of that respect from the great lineage of musicians that came out of Baltimore. You know, some who came out, but some, I remember days going to the Sportsman's Lounge and seeing Mickey Fields, you know, whole court, you know, having the opportunity to work with Ethel Ennis.
Ethel's place.
Yeah.
Ethel loves a great club.
Yeah. Charlie Covenant's still around. It's like, oh my gosh. You know, I used to work at Stouffer's Harper place playing solo, and I used to have the craziest task of following him, which I really didn't want to do.
I can imagine.
But you know what I did is I got there early and I sat in the back just to sit and listen because I enjoyed it so much. But there's so many. There's a certain sound, I guess. I guess But on the music scene, when you say the word Baltimore, even to this day, they say, oh, oh. So those who are born and bred, it's part of the legacy and the culture that we have to continue to maintain and evolve.
You have just been such a blessing to this music, I like to say personally. I mean, you've been in this like at least, not even 50 years, close to 50 years, maybe 45.
Oh my.
Okay,
yeah,
maybe I shouldn't be here.
It's been a taste, and I'm very grateful. I've seen a few things. But the song isn't finished. The sonata isn't finished. I ain't through I'm not, so my assignment is not done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to keep working. And when the last phrase, when the last cadenza is done, the last amen, then I'll go on and hang out with Monk. But until that day, I'm still working.
And that's a beautiful thing.
And so there's tradition and there's culture that has to constantly be put into the atmosphere. There's a certain truth about this music that has to constantly be placed in the atmosphere. Whether it's popular or not, it still has to be placed out there. Because it have to be true to who you are. And then, and if you're not, then I can only have nightmares with the ancestors whipping my tail, talking about, come on, what's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
I spent many days. I remember being in Bradley's, sitting at and I just seeing Big George Coleman at the foot of the piano, staring me down.
Wow.
Harold Mayburn right next to me,
Mm-hmm.
hands full of staring me down. And so that's what I came out. That's what I came out playing in places. I remember also in Bradley's one night playing, and there's Ron Carter. I'm like,
yeah.
So, one of the greatest piano lessons I had in the world was being on the 100 Goldfingers.
Yeah, I remember
tour.
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I got a chance to hang out with Tommy Flanagan, Ray Bryant, Junior Mance. Let's see, Renee Rogers was on there, Katie Barron.
Mm-hmm.
Gene Harris was on the first
Wow.
Benny Green, Mal Waldron, and there's many others. John Lewis, oh gosh. And I'm missing many, Eric Reed as well. But that was the greatest piano lesson of my life. Grady Tate and Bob Cranshaw's the rhythm section.
Oh yeah. That's incredible.
So I'm getting all of these lessons in rhythm, melody, and harmony. Through a 4-week trip, going all the way through Japan, sometimes Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And there was lessons, especially coming from the piano, but there was lessons on the bus too.
I can only imagine.
I leave that alone. We be here a long time talking about
You'll
that.
write that book one day. Thank you so much for blessing us.
Well,
Willie.
I believe I was placed on this earth to do this. My father, he said one of the greatest. He could have left me an inheritance. But he felt if he got me to the piano, I'd be all right. And so that was the best gift he could ever, I guess he, God kind of senses it. This boy needs to do this here. He'd tell me he would play, and he would put me in the bassinet by the piano. He started playing, and no matter what I was doing, I would get very quiet. So around 2 or 3, I just got up on the bed and I started trying to do what he did.
That's beautiful.
And so it's, just that legacy. And at a certain point in time, I realized that though I could do many different things, but this is what I was put here to do.
Exactly.
And so if I can put a rhythm, melody, or harmony into the atmosphere to brighten someone's day, or be a conduit or be an inspiration for another generation of music. That's why I love being down at Howard University.
Yeah.
Because I get a chance just to hang out with that new generation, and and let them know, let those who look like me, let those who look like me know that if I can do it, so can they.
Absolutely. We need mentors like you, and like I said, you're a blessing. And thank you also to your incredible band, Herman, Burney on the bass, Kelton, Norris on the drums. He reminded me of Louis Nash. Maybe it's just me, but he's incredible. Look, yeah.
Oh, well, we have a good time. We have such a good time, and in these next few days, we're at Dazzle is just going to go up and up and up. Just but it's a beautiful thing when you can, not only have fun on the bandstand, but just even in traveling from place to place. We could sit at the table and cut food. Just simply help each other just to do what it is we do. And they are leaders in their own right. They're educators in their own right. And so I'm very grateful that, that they find it not robbery to travel with old me, but
Don't say that. Yeah.
I think when you have when you have a good union, you have a good synergy, makes all the difference in the world.
It does. It really does. Thank you again. This was a beautiful performance, by the way. Very beautiful.
All right.
We love having you, and looking forward to seeing you at Dazzle as well.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.